Colonel Gaddafi's long reign as Libyan leader appears to be over. The rebels who rose up against him 6 months ago now control most of Tripoli, the Libyan capital. This is the scene in Tripoli's Green Square as Libya awakes to a new era. Celebrations went on all night after rebel forces marched into the heart of the capital. They reached the outskirts of Tripoli 24 hours ago, buoyed by securing key towns in the east, south and west. The rebels then launched a coordinated assault, sweeping through the Libyan capital with little resistance. Fighting is still taking place, with Gaddafi loyalists clinging on to some pockets of the city. Colonel Gaddafi's whereabouts are unknown, but 2 of his sons have been captured. This report from the ABC's Middle East correspondent Ben Knight.
For 42 years, Green Square has been a symbol of Colonel Gaddafi's rule. But 24 hours of fighting has changed all of that. The rebels are now in control and have changed the name to Martyrs Square. Rebel fighters only reached the outskirts of the city on the weekend, but they pushed on with incredible speed. They came from the east, the south and the west, all of them jubilant and all with the same aim.
Very happy, my friend.
Why are you so happy?
Because we're going to take this bastard out.
As they bore down on Tripoli, the regime became nervous and defensive.
With this weapon, I either kill or die today. You will not take our Libya channel. You won't take Tripoli and all of Libya. We are willing to become martyrs.
Before too long, elite military units had surrendered. The rebels appeared to be meeting very little resistance, but that didn't stop the regime from talking up a bloodbath. And the further the rebels advanced, the more unhinged the regime appeared.
The European and Western officials are lying to their peoples when they say they are fighting terrorism. In fact, they are fighting with terrorism against the Libyan nation, and they are following Al-Qaeda's orders.
Then it was up to Colonel Gaddafi to issue his final plea for his supporters to fight to the death. Once again, there was no sign of the man, just his voice on state television.
How can the armed people allow a group of mercenaries, traitors and rats to open the way for colonialism in Tripoli? If Tripoli burns and becomes like Baghdad, what good will that do?
As Colonel Gaddafi spoke from an undisclosed location, his sons were being arrested. His eldest, Moamar Gaddafi, surrendered. His most loyal and outspoken son, Saif al-Islam, was captured. That news triggered ecstatic celebrations in the rebel capital, Benghazi. Rebel leaders say Saif al-Islam Gaddafi will be tried in Libya, but they're promising to avoid harsh recriminations in general, saying supporters of the regime won't be put on trial.
Today there is no difference between Libyan cities. There is no difference between Libyan people. We all suffered and will create history together.
As for Colonel Gaddafi himself,
the end is now certain. He will either flee because of the crimes he committed, be arrested or shot dead. All options are viable.
It may be the end for Colonel Gaddafi, but it's a new start for the Libyan people. Ben Knight, ABC News.